There is a lot of false and inaccurate information about the RV industry, RV manufacturing, even the RV lifestyle across the internet and social media. And no platform is immune. YouTube, TikTok, Quora, Reddit, they are not immune to inaccurate information or false information. And if you're doing your homework for the first time because you're thinking, you know what, it might be really cool to get a travel trailer or fifth wheel or motorhome or toy hauler, it might be time to get the family away from all the chaos. And you come online to do a little bit of homework and you get two sides. You either get over-glorification of a certain niche of the lifestyle, or an over-glorification or a pedestal of a brand or a manufacturer. And then on the other side, you got Armageddon. Oh my God, it's brimstone and hellfire. I mean, that's the two sides you get. And why do you get that? You get that because of money. That's the plain and simple answer, okay? Now, there's a lot of layers to that, but I'm not going to get into those in this episode. Welcome to HBRV Lifestyle, the podcast. I'm the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as some other things. And when I'm talking about layers, I'm talking about there's more to it than money, but once you layer it down, it boils down to cash, money in the bank. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you're an over-glorification. Let's say you're going to put a brand on a pedestal. And we're going to pick on Grand Design for a minute, only because Grand Design sold to Winnebago, so we have some pretty good, detailed history about that. So, if you go back in time when Grand Design started, there was no negative videos. If there was negative videos about something going on or an article going on, you wouldn't really see it anymore after about a week or two. Now, I'm not going to tell you why. You can figure that out for yourself, okay? But the reality let's put Grand Design on this pedestal as the best of the best of the best of the best. No one's better. And we're going to make everybody catch up to Grand Design. We're going to have the best marketing strategy that's ever been around. Even though they're built with the same components, same structural integrity, same pretty much processes as 99% of the manufacturers out there, we're going to put it on this pedestal. And it did really well. For years, it was, I want a Grand Design, I want a Solitude, I want a Momentum, I want a Reflection, etc., etc., etc. Okay? Well, now you fast forward. The company sold after 4 years, 5 years of being in business, sold to Winnebago for hundreds of millions of dollars, huge amounts of profits for the investors that were into that manufacturer. And now Winnebago's in the middle of a class action lawsuit dealing with frame failure / frame flex. So it's like, that throws people for a little bit of a loop. Like, how did they go from this to dog shit real quick? Well, the answer to that is over-glorification. They were after money. They did a great job with it. I'm a capitalist. I'm not going to talk crap about it. I'm going to actually applaud them and high-five them. If I could start a company and know in 5 years I'm going to make $500 or $600 million, shit, I would do it too. Let's be real. And if you don't think you would do it, just look yourself in the mirror, right? If you could go back in time and you knew that if you had the right marketing strategy and the right coloring and the right lighting of anything, a car, a boat, a mobile home, whatever, and you knew if you built it up for 5 years and you built it to the monster it became, you sold it off for $500 or $600 million, you wouldn't do that? That's where it kind of comes from. So it's about money. So there are people who tag on to that. You have corporate RV dealership YouTubers that hold on to those coattails because it gives them views, ad revenue, brand deals. Dealerships pay them to come and do their walkthroughs. Manufacturers pay them to come do their walkthroughs and glorify their product and talk really good about their product. They don't talk about the other stuff, if you get my drift. While on the other side of things, you have hellfire and brimstone. And I pick on Liz Amazing, okay? And I'm not picking on her because I don't like her or anything. I'm picking on her because she's the biggest. And she's a recognizable name in the industry and on YouTube. Everything's hellfire and brimstone. Everything's a piece of shit. Everything's a pile of crap. Everything's horrible. Now, she's never going to get brand deals. She's never going to get sponsorships. So negative and positive, hell and heaven, make money. And it's sexy. And it's sexy to see a title saying, customer had floor rotten, manufacturer sucks. And then the brand of the RV is blanked out with somebody saying it like this. I'm going to click on that. What manufacturer's that? You know, I mean, it's not clickbait, because if it was clickbait, it wouldn't have happened to the people. But it's so hard not to click on the negative thing. If today I told you that Donald Trump is getting impeached and marched out of office by the Marine Corps, you would instantly drop what you're doing and click and watch. Whether you're a fan of Donald Trump, whether you're Republican or Democrat, you're going to stop what you're doing and you're going to come watch me film Donald Trump getting arrested and escorted out of the White House. Because it's must-watch TV, because it's negative. You're going to be a Republican, you're going to be mad and pissed off. Oh, the Democrats! Oh my God! You know, fight. And then if you're a Democrat, you're like, yeah, fuck Trump! Yeah! I mean, that's just, unfortunately, that's how our society works. So, the truth is about the RV industry when it comes to the over-glorification versus hellfire and brimstone is I'm going to go back to Grand Design. Grand Design RV is in the middle of a class action lawsuit when it comes to frame failure / frame flex. Did that mean every momentum, every solitude, and every reflection that they all have bad frames? Everyone unbuilt? No. Was a higher percentage than what the corporate RV dealership YouTubers or the manufacturer wanted to admit to? Yes. Is it hellfire and brimstone where you should be, that every solitude and every momentum is going to have their frame fail? No. So the reality is it's somewhere in the middle. And the middle is, you know, it's worse than what the manufacturer said. So have yourself tested. Take care of your unit. Okay? It's the same thing with Brinkley. I've picked on Brinkley for a little bit. And I pick on Brinkley because it's the same problem with Grand Design. Pedestal up here. I'm the best. I'm a narcissistic person who sits in a car and calls people blowhards. I mean, there's a problem with that pedestal. Because if there's nothing wrong and you can't admit there's a problem with your seal, then obviously you're in it for another reason besides building RVs and making customers happy, right? So, but even in that case, Brinkley RV has had problems with their sidewalls cracking, has had problems with floor rotting, has had problems with water intrusion because of their experimental exterior seal. Does that mean every single Brinkley RV that is built in their factory, toy hauler, fifth wheel travel trailer, does that mean every single one of them is going to have that problem? No. Is it going to be a bigger problem than what the manufacturer wants to admit and social media wants to admit? Of course. But is it hellfire and brimstone and, oh, everything you ever buy is a pile of shit? No. Okay? And that's the same thing when it comes to the bigger manufacturers. There's a lot of people out there that want to say Forest River is the biggest pile of shit on God's green earth. And we've never seen, I'll never buy another Forest River. Okay. I understand that, especially if you owned like a Salem or you owned maybe you owned a Coachman Catalina or something of that nature, right? But you're not looking at stepping back and seeing that Forest River is actually made up of 9 different divisions and companies that are separately run. Even though Doug Gettard is the CEO and president of Forest River, who took over for the late Pete Legal, God rest his soul, love that man. Does it mean that Doug Gettard goes and points fingers at people and goes, you have to do it my way on every coach? No. Every product manager of every division has their own boss and they do things differently. So Rockwood and Flagstaff, which are to me, consider the best travel trailers they build in Forest River, they are a separate division than something maybe built at the Coachman factory like a Freedom Express or an Apex. So there's different layers to how the bigger corporations work. Thor Industries has Keystone, Jayco, Heartland, KZ. God dang, I got a bunch of damn shit over there, right? But the reality is that just because it's under the Thor umbrella doesn't mean that every single thing built is a piece of crap. Okay? If I could go out to RV resorts and people were okay being on camera, I bet you 9 out of 10 people would tell me they love their rig. They would tell you, yeah, we've had some problems here and there, but once we got some things tightened up and once we got in the flow of how to maintain it, what we need to do to maintain it, we actually love the lifestyle and love our rig. I will guarantee even the people that have minor or major problems with Brinkley still love their decision. I will guarantee you that most people that buy an Alliance love their decision, no matter what problems they're going through. Okay? Not every manufacturer, not everybody is horrible at customer service. Now, what I will say, backing up, is every manufacturer, Forest River, Keystone, Alliance, Brinkley, Winnebago, Genesis Supreme, my favorite toy hauler, they could all fucking get better at doing what they do in warranty. They all suck in warranty. I don't care if it's Brinkley and they want to pound their chest about some bullshit percentage or not. Every manufacturer, including Northwood, which builds Arctic Fox, Outdoors RV, all that stuff, every single manufacturer can get thousands of % better at customer service. Period. Okay? Nobody is immune to that. Now, does that mean every time they're horrible? No. Because if they were all horrible, they'd all be out of business. Nobody would go buy one. Fact of life. If every single coach ever built from a Class A motorhome to a little camping tent trailer was all a pile of crap, the entire industry would be out of business. If less than 50% of people were happy about their rig, the RV industry would be out of business. Period. Why? Because there is the percentage of people that actually RV is very small compared to the population of the world. So let's say they build 300,000 units in a year. Only 220 or 230 are actually going to sell. That's less than 1% of the population of the United States of America. So less than 1% of the population of the United States of America buys a new RV every year. So if everybody was so terrible at manufacturing them, they'd be out of fucking business. Everybody just go get a tent or build or sleep in a school bus or build their own van or build their own cargo trailer or stay in cabins. So we just have to think about those things. When we're watching social media play out, we have to understand it's all about trickle-down effect of money. I want to get paid. I'm never going to get a sponsor. I'm never going to have any kind of brand deal. Why? Because even though, here's a fact of, there's guys like me. I'm not the only one like this. I'm not the only middle ground person on the internet about this. There's a lot of guys like me like this, okay? We're always going to be small-time channels. And the reason why is because we don't have the paste of, oh my God, I am the accurate guy who works at a corporate dealership and I know everything. And I am so famous, people drive thousands of miles just to come say hi to me at a show. There's a lot of people that are in it for the glory and the fame, while I'm in it to make a little extra money and at the same time pass on my information. So it makes it, how do I put it? It just makes it more fun because you know the good and the bad and the ugly. The great, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The other and lifestyle, guys, look, the RV lifestyle is a wonderful lifestyle, but don't let the van life lifestyle be over glorified. There's a lot of van lifers out there that don't even sleep in their van. They fake sleep in their van using video editing techniques. Fact of life. The majority of Class B motorhome owners stay in Hampton Inn or the Holiday Inn. Fact of life. My grandfather was like that. Owned a road trek for 10 years. He told me it was a $100,000 toilet. I love that man. God rest his soul. And, I used to see it all the time. I still see it today. I will see Winnebago Revels and Coachman Beyonds in a Hilton parking lot. The other day, I'm in the Bay Area driving Uber. I dropped somebody off at a Hilton hotel. And along the back wall, on the back side of the hotel, not even on the front, on the back side of the hotel, as I drive around, there's 32 Class B motorhomes out there. And they're not dealer owned. They're customer owned. And it makes sense because, look, a B van is a great way to travel the United States because you got your own personal bathroom, your kitchen, you're saving money overall, you got more storage. If you want to stop and spend the night somewhere or stop in a rest stop and get 2 or 3 hours of sleep and get some rest, you're not kicking back in your chair of your car. You get to go lay down flat on a nice cushy bed with pillows, and if you have to go to the bathroom, you don't need to go to a public bathroom. You can get up, use your own toilet, your own shower. You have privacy. You don't have to keep going in and out of the van. If you want, you got solar, so you could charge all your devices. You can activate your internet. You can grab stuff out of a fridge. You're not going to a vending machine or going to some taco stand, even though I do love taco stands. But you're not going somewhere where you're not feeling comfortable. It is a convenience and comfort to have that wonderful van conversion. Now, that's not to say that every van lifer stays in a hotel. I know a lot that don't. But it's over glorified, right? It's the same thing about, full-time RVing in a fifth wheel. It's over glorified. People do it for clicks, views, and because housing is somewhat unaffordable. But a lot of it is boring. It's everyday life, and everyday life can be boring. And over glorifying it or making hellfire and brimstone is just about money. It's about clicks. And the other thing I really want to clarify, I don't work for Camping World. I used to a few years ago. But I hear a lot of people, and I'm going to use Camping World as an example because I can pick on them because everybody knows who they are. Camping World has each store is individually run by a manager. So if you have a bad experience with a Camping World or a Lazy Days or a Fun Town RV or a General RV or whatever RV that's got multiple stores, in general, it's because that store is poorly run. It's not a reflection on the entire company necessarily. Now, you can argue with me about that, and that argument would actually be legitimate, okay? Because it's hard to say you're wrong. But what I am going to tell you is that not every RV dealership under a corporate umbrella, not every single location is going to be crooked or nasty to you. I know of several Camping Worlds that have really good managers, really well run. Vacaville, California is a perfect example of a well-oiled, well-run Camping World. And the reason why I sell more than most Camping Worlds in the Pacific Northwest, north of Fresno, California, up towards the Canadian border, is because they are good at what they do. Can I say that about every Camping World in Northern California? No. But I know the management team. And I know the sales guys. And I know the service guys. And once again, well-oiled, well-run machine, but that's not accurate of every single location. So that's why Get to know the people that you're buying from. Don't walk in with an attitude problem of any place. I've noticed that a lot. There's a lot more people just walk in with this attitude problem. And it's like, get to know the people that you may or may not do business with. You never know. You might actually find out something. You might actually develop a relationship. So until next time, toolkit and sense of humor, folks.